You're welcome. You're welcome onto my channel today, and it gives me great joy to observe you are doing this video. I am Dr. Olayinka Akanle. I am a lecturer in the university. I am a researcher, and on this channel I do a number of stuff, but all the stuff that I do, you can group them into four: sociology, research, relationship, and migration. Meanwhile, are you subscribing to this channel? Kindly go ahead and tap the subscribe button on your screen right now. Click the subscribe button on your screen right now for wonderful contents. If you have subscribed previously, thank you very much for staying tuned. In this video today, I want to address another research method of data analysis, but this particular method is used for data collection. It's also used for data analysis within qualitative data system ecosystem. So the title of this video is Grounded Theory. Grounded theory. So grounded theory is essentially a research method that is used to develop research, for rigorous data collection and data analysis for the purpose of developing theories, for the purpose of developing concepts, for the purpose of developing conceptual framework, essentially based on empirical data. So essentially, grounded theory, interestingly, why I think this topic is very important for me to address is because this is a very important research method, but unfortunately, most people don't use it. I've not seen so many people, collecting their data, analyzing their data on the basis of grounded theory approach. And essentially is because many people do not understand what this grounded theory approach means. Many people think maybe it's a theory on its own, like social action theory or Newton's law of motion, or any other theory, like a law, grounded. So it sounds so big to so many people, maybe some people just think it's just out of this world, like social action theory, like a theory, but it's not a theory. Okay, it's not a theory. Essentially, it's just a research method, that is adopted to develop theory, other theories, to develop concepts, to generate concept, to develop conceptual framework based on empirical data. So you are collecting your data, but ultimately, or you are analyzing your data, ultimately what you are interested in is to generate new concepts, to generate new theories, to generate new conceptual framework. That's what it means. That means that, and let me now tell you, so it's for data collection, it's also for data analysis. What this means is also to let you know that research is a process, like I always say. Both your data collection and your data analysis must feed into each other. And grounded theory assists you to do this. To the extent I want to say you are using grounded theory as a research method, you're already saying my data collection will be guided by grounded theory, and my data analysis will be guided by grounded theory. So what does this mean? That means you have designed your research questions, you have designed your research objective. Then that means you will not adopt a theory ab initio. Right from the beginning, you won't say, okay, this theory will be guided by social action theory, will be guided by phenomenology or symbolic interactionism. No, there will be no theory. You will not even have a conceptual framework. Like some people will say, I must have the conceptual framework before I go to the field. No, you will not even have a conceptual framework. You will not even have assumption. That means there is no a priori knowledge. There is no preconceived notion. Do you understand? You are just going to the field with open mind. All you know is that you have a research problem you want to go and understand. You have research questions you want to answer. You have research objectives you want to understand. So this is what you have. So no conceptual framework, no theory from beginning. So this is a subjective. Grounded theory is a subjective data collection or data analysis method. Subjective yet objective, because you just want to objectively, scientifically understand this particular social phenomenon or social reality or this problem. You have open mind, but it's subjective because you're going to be basing your analysis and understanding on the worldview of the actors you are studying. You know, you are not going to superimpose your own knowledge or preconceived notion, you know, during the research collection, during the data collection and analysis. You are allowing the data to breathe. You are contextualizing. Your analysis is based essentially on the worldview and the perspective of the communities or social processes you are trying to understand. So it's a subjective process, yet objective, because you are not assuming anything. As a researcher, you are simply blank. You only have this methodology to go and collect data, and you will allow the data to express itself. It's subjective to that level. It's objective to that level. But it's subjective at the same time because you are contextualizing your data. You are hearing from the perspective or from the worldview of the societies and the communities of interest to you. So their interpretation, the meanings they attach to their action, and the issue you are interested in is going to guide the whole process. So, but unfortunately, it's seldom used. Most of the time, people don't use it because many people don't know it. And that's why I brought this to your attention. So, and it's contextual. Another point is that it is immersive. It is immersive in the sense that the researcher must be strongly embedded in the context of the research. The researcher must be involved in the data collection, must be involved in the interpretation and analysis. So it's immersed. The totality of the researcher must be involved and stay within the process for an extended period of time. Unlike quantitative, where you can just randomly select your sample, you can just randomly administer a questionnaire within a very reasonable process, rapid process, you simply depart the field. But in grounded theory, it is not so. It is extended and it is immersive. It is immersive, it is iterative. Iterative in the sense that there might be repeat visit, repeat analysis, repeat interpretation. It is iterative. It's a continuous process. You go forward, you come back to understand. Don't forget, you have no theoretical frame guiding you. So you don't just, okay, based on social action theory, these are the variables that you'll be looking for. It's like you're throwing the net into the ocean. Whatever the net catches is what will be your data. And that will guide your analysis. So it is very immersive, and triangulation is highly important because you want to capture different dynamics, different nuances, different processes, different angles to the issue. So you may have to triangulate your data collection processes. For example, you may have to use in-depth interview at the same time with focus group discussion, at the same time with observation. So that you can, I have data collection methods on this channel, you can view them. So I have different videos on theories too, you can view them. So that means you are just going, you are going to triangulate. There's a video on triangulation on this channel. It's a combination of more than one methods in data collection. You know, that's what it means. So you can view that video too. So you want to understand the social reality or the phenomenon of interest through systematic collection of data and analysis, you know, to be able to. So it's, now how do you know, when I look at this, you know, I've told you that the essence of using gender theory is to generate data, is to analyze data, is to generate solutions, is to generate recommendations, is to understand the relationships among different issues and within definite context, social boundaries. So essentially you use grounded theory when you are not, it's a new area. Once you want to understand a new area or a new issue that has not been sufficiently understood, maybe it's totally heuristic, it's totally exploratory. You just want, maybe you are the first or among the first to want to understand this particular situation. So grounded theory is seriously recommended. You know, if it is an issue that has been extensively researched, okay, you have some assumption, you have some knowledge, you have some preconceived notion, you have literature to review, you have empirical studies to review in the literature. But when you don't have, it's a new research, it's a new area, it's a new problem, like when we had the outbreak of COVID-19. COVID-19 was new. Most people did not know anything about COVID-19. To understand the etiology, the processes, the trajectory, the disease, the epidemiology of COVID-19, Many people use grounded theory. I used grounded theory because it's a new area. So you just want to throw everything into it to gather data, begin to synthesize and analyze. So at the same time, also, it might not be a new area, but we need new knowledge in that area to take a departure, or when we don't sufficiently understand the issue, even though the issue has been around for a long time. So you may want to use grounded theory to take a departure in methodology. Perhaps something new will come in. So how do you now code it? You're not going to have massive data. To analyze that, then you need iterative coding. Iterative coding means you are not just going to design a code book and just be coding just one way like that. It means you are expected to code and recode as you have new issues and new themes emerging in your research. That's why I usually recommend coding as you go on the field. When you are there, you see one issue originate, or you see a theme emerging, you quickly code that and you keep that in view, looking at that. And once you see another pattern emerging, you recode again, or you code as a separate variable. So iterative coding is the most important in the analysis of grounded theory. That means you don't code once and for all. You code, you recode again, you go forward, you interrogate your code, then you reverse again to the code. So iterative coding is very important in this, and it's usually for comparative analysis. Maybe you are doing multi-sited research. You want to compare at the same time. You want to compare your new data with maybe identical or related data. So it's comparative in terms of scenario, comparative in terms of data, in terms of knowledge. It can be comparative in terms of research participants. Maybe they'll be talking to different people over time. You compare what you've been hearing to the new one that are emerging. So it's a comparative research process. It needs iterative coding at the same time to understand social reality. But it's not a very popular research method, but I recommend this for researchers to be able to have more reliable and valid data. So there are advantages of grounded theory. Number one, it can allow you to achieve rich data, new data in natural setting, that is not controlled at all. So you are able to gather as new data as possible. And it's contextual, immersive, to the extent that researchers are immersed in a particular context to understand the phenomenon of social reality. And it's good for complex issues that are complex. So you just continue, like I use the metaphor of a fisherman. It's a complex, like an ocean that is just there ahead of you. Complex issue, you simply immerse yourself into it through grounded theory and begin to mine from that particular environment. That's very important. And the iteration is very important, that it allows you not to be controlled. Socially free, freedom of research. You're just there, you theorize forward, you collect data forward, you analyze forward, and move back at the same time. Like that. But it has its own disadvantage. It can be disadvantages. It can be very cumbersome, difficult and tedious sometimes. But with expertise, you can navigate that. And it's subjective at the same time, because you're not totally objective, you're not totally detached. Sometimes you are immersed in the process, and it's rarely used, which means you can just be on your own over a period of time. It can be time consuming because you are not guided from beginning, no a priori knowledge. So you just continue to navigate the ocean yourself through the social compass of your research methodology. And it can be technical at the same time, because it's not a common research method, and it can be very expensive. You may need a lot of resources in terms of funds, in terms of time, in terms of competence, networking, community entry. So you may have to get different actors around your research process. I love grounded theory, and I do recommend it. I've spoken to many of my students in the past, but I've discovered that many of them struggle with it, and they just don't used to the traditional methods of data collection and analysis. And I think you have to bear in mind you're using grounded theory, your analysis must follow grounded theory in a way that you keep in mind that you want to generate new concepts, new solutions, new conceptual frameworks, new solutions, and new theories from the work. People have used theory before. You can use your theory to falsify many of that theory. What does falsification means? It means invalidating, or interrogating or critiquing previous theory. Falsification does not mean lying in research. It means, debunking, disproving, criticizing, rejecting previous theoretical positions or intellectual positions. I hope you understand that now. Now till I see you in my next video, kindly tap subscribe. Click subscribe to this channel, to subscribe to this channel and share as widely as possible. Bye for now.